it's Gavin from the CS team, and today we're going to be talking about how to use lead scoring within the platform to qualify leads within the bots and then send those leads to the relevant people. As you'll see that we're in the visual bot area of the platform. Generally speaking, we get the most engagement from visual bots for these types of bots because they are more interactive, they're sort of gamified. It is a way of people selecting sort of strong options as they go through and selecting sort of using icons and imagery to help them pick through. It makes it sort of stand out as a more interactive experience. You can, of course, add them into the different types of bots. They can be used within in-page chatbots, etc. as well. It's exactly the same process, but for now, we'll use the visual bot. So the first thing to do is we're going to start with building a new bot. So let's assume in this scenario that you are a marketing agency and you want to qualify leads based on what they need and what their budget is and sort of how many campaigns they want to run and that sort of thing. So we're going to ask 3 questions and then we're going to add scoring to it and then we're going to decide where those scores go. So let's start with giving it a name. So we're going to call this one campaign qualification bot. The first thing we're going to ask is a multiple choice question. So let's say you've driven people to this page. It's a way for them to decide what they might need from you and a way for you to qualify the users who arrive. So we're going to say, tell us what services you would like. In this case, we're just going to start with 3. And so we'll have a minimum choice is 1, maximum is 3. So answer 1 will be email campaign. Answer 2 might be digital ads. And answer 3 might be social media campaign, for example. Now, the benefit of using the visual bot for this is that we can make it really eye-catching. So under answer 1 for email campaign, if we click on this, we'll add in the images that we have here. So for example, we use news, and for digital ads, we use advertisement, and for social media, we will use target, and then we'll also have SEO. Again, we can add in sort of images around that. So I'll just actually change this to be 4. So now what we'll have is whenever the user lands, they'll be able to pick one of these or multiple of these. What we now need to do is then define the scores for each of these. So under show options and score, so we'll give everything 10 for each. Now, of course, this will be defined by you and your team internally of what constitutes a high value lead. For the purpose of this, we'll do everything as 10. But of course, if some of your services are more expensive or require more work from your end, you may want to put more value on them to highlight those leads specifically, and that's completely fine. So that's the first question. The next question is, we'll have to find out a little bit about the company itself. So in this case, we'll say a single choice. So tell us about your budget. And then from here, we might say under 1,000 per month. Between 1 per month. And then we'll do over 2,000 per month. In this case, we may want to add different types of scores. So under the score here, we might give a 10 for that one. A 20 for this. and a 30 for that. And then from here, what we're going to do is connect this to another single choice node to find out how many campaigns they would need. Now, in this case, we can either drag them all individually, or if you hold Shift and select one, it'll drag all three across. And then from there, we can add in another single choice node. And this will be how many campaigns / services will you be running. So it might be one, and then we can do weekly, monthly, and maybe quarterly as another option. Let me just change this to one-off. In this case, we'll add some scores to this. So again, the one-off might be 10. Weekly will be high value, so we can add 50 onto this, for example. Monthly, we might want to do 30 for that, and then quarterly we can do 20 for this. Again, the scoring is completely subjective for your own business, but it's just to give it a sort of variation of what we can do from here. So really what we're looking at is we have everything is scored. So depending on which option they will pick, we'll be able to then calculate the score and then present them with a specific option. So in this case, if someone selects email campaign and their budget is under 10,000 a month, and it's a one-off email campaign, that'll be a score of 30. So that's quite a low value client potentially for you in this scenario. Of course, if they were to say an email campaign with a budget of, or a social media campaign with a budget of over 2,500 per month, and they want to run that every week, that would be a score of 90. So it's a way of being able to calculate this out to decide what we would like to focus on. So from here, we're going to connect this node to a logic router, and we're going to build out the variations of if the score is between X and Y, then it goes to a certain path. So in this case, we might want to do if it's between 0 and 30, and then we'll do 31 and 60, and then we might want to do 61 and 100, just as an example. Now what you'll see is we've got different options and outcomes for each of those. So for the low value ones, we may want to just send them straight to a contact form, and we would say, great, please enter your details and someone will be in touch. And then from there, we can add in a quick CTA option to gather the contact details. And for the middle option, again, that might be, it's fine for those to go straight through to the form. For the higher end side of things, we may want to add in a different pathway for those. So for example, we may want to allow those people to book directly in to a calendar. So if you had a calendar connected, and in this case, we can use mine. So we may want to allow them to book directly into the calculator or the calendar. Something like that. We want to just gate the calendar for the more high end clients, and then from there we can then add in a bot says, which is just a basic sort of thanks. First name will be in touch soon. And of course, we can just connect that to that because it's going to the same process. So what we've created here essentially is a way of qualifying certain leads to go directly to a form, or some to just go straight to the specific calendar of the user. Great, so now we can preview this just to make sure it all works. So if we click preview, what we'll have is tell us which services you would like. In this case, we're going to say email campaign, confirm, is going to be a budget of under £1,000 per month. We're looking for a one-off send. So that goes straight through to the form. And then from there, we can enter in our details. Let's say thanks, we'll be in touch. Now, of course, if we wanted to check the other path that works, if we were looking for the sort of the higher end side of things, we can say I want SEO. I have a larger budget. Campaigns are going to be weekly. And then from there, it'll then generate the calendar, so someone can book in directly with one of your sales reps, so we can pick one of their specific dates and times. And then again, we'll just have to ask for their email. And we'll say thanks, we'll be in touch soon. So that's quite an easy way to then decide how you want to pass people through, how you want to score them, what you want to do with that score. Again, the scoring is subjective itself, and maybe you'll have a certain range of scores you'd like to focus on. But here's how we build that out. As I said, we'll be doing more complex versions of this in the future. But for now, I think this is a nice, simple one to get started with. I hope you enjoyed the video.